I will. I will. I don't want to break your cameras there when we go at it here. We okay, Colin?
We are ready to go when you are.
Hey,
Okay, we just need your name and spelling first,
Okay.
and title, so we all get that right.
okay. I'm Pat Murphy, the Commissioner for Homeland Security and Emergency Services for the state of New York. PAT, MURPHY. I want to make sure I appropriately recognize the other folks that are with me here as well. Representing the governor as well is Director of Emergency Management for the Governor's Office, State Operations, Michael Kopey. Director Kopey's been all the way across the 8 counties, taking a look at the properties with the governor, and now again making another circulation. I also want to recognize the mayor, who's been a super partner in taking care of his municipality, but Mayor Dave McDowell has been out here with us every time we get out, so thanks, Mayor, for doing that. Also want to recognize Pat Meredith. Pat is the Assistant Commissioner for this part of the state for the Department of Transportation as well. So the flooding that is going to occur, it's not really a question of if, but when at this point. What we see are water levels now about 7 inches below what they were at this date a year ago, which is about 14 inches below the peak a year ago, 2017. They're about 8 inches below 2017 for date, but about 14 inches below the peak in 2017. The issue is that the water is going to continue to rise. The anticipation, as predicted by the Corps of Engineers, is potentially at least another 7 inches. And so we still haven't seen that peak. It's coming. And the opportunity now to prepare. The governor has had us out here for almost 3 weeks now, preparing to provide support to both the municipalities and the counties as well. And we have done that. In Sodas Point, I think is a star in all of this, in that from day one when we came in, they had a plan, and they knew exactly where they wanted their equipment put in. The aqua dam, which is over on the end of the point, as well as the sandbagging that's occurred around to protect the residencies and the businesses that are here. And so that support, although looking in great shape here, is going to continue across all 8 counties that touch the lake. The preparedness is important for us. If we can get folks to continue to think about how they're going to take care of themselves, as well as they reach out to their municipalities, and the municipalities reaching out to the county for additional support, we're going to continue to provide resources as backup to those plans that are in place. We have a number of resources to do that. We have sandbagging operations going on with literally thousands of sandbags being made and pre-staged, as well as being in place every day. We have what we call the aqua dam, and you'll see a section of that laid in at the end of the point over here, as well as in a number of other locations. And over the next 2 or 3 days, we will literally put in another several thousand feet of the aqua dam, and that's available. We also have pumping equipment. The community here has done a great job in preparing for this and has increased their number of pumps, but the state has provided a number of pumps to support the operation as backup, and we're doing that across the entire waterfront as well. And so those things kind of touch on many of the operations we have going on at this point. I would encourage the citizenry, if you've got an issue, a need, that you contact the municipalities and who are in touch with the county leadership. The county leadership will go into New York Responds, register their needs, and then we respond to those with our staff that's out here and our other partners as well. But If there's a municipality that needs assistance, we have a phone number that can be contacted. That phone number is 518-292-2200. That's 518-292-2200. And that will alert us to the needs, and we will continue to push resources as we can. And we will. We have additional resources available to continue to support operations. So with that, I think we would take any questions, but I'd offer to Mike, have anything, Director Copey, anything here?
The governor's made a number of visits to every community, every county along Lake Ontario, and he's very committed to ensuring that the residents have all levels of state service to ensure that their properties and businesses are protected for what is going to be a flood that's going to happen. I want to reiterate what the commissioner said is you need to be prepared now. The time is to prepare. We're here. We have the resources that are available. The governor has committed every available state resource to ensure that the residents are protected. We just need to know where, and we'll get the resources there. So, that said, if there's any questions.
Well, I know you've been touring a lot of the counties, like you said, along the lakeshore. This is a low-lying, obviously, community, and has been devastated 2 years ago. Is much of the focus here in terms of resources and what you're able to do as far as state personnel? How long do you plan on monitoring this little hamlet area?
How long will we be here? Until the problem's over. We're committed for the long run. We're going to be here. And if the village, if the community sustain flooding, we'll be here after the fact to help them rebuild and make sure that they have access to the resources that they're necessary, not only to repair the infrastructure to the existing level, but also to prepare for what is the new normal. Unfortunately, the new normal is that this is flooding. As we can see at the communities right now, the water is at or just above flood stage. But when we add the other atmospheric conditions in, it creates a bad situation. And so this is something that clearly has to be addressed. The IJC needs to ensure that the water levels are low enough so that when the atmospheric conditions are brought in, as we're expecting over the next 36 hours, that these communities don't sustain needless flooding.
I sense a tone of urgency this time around. I mean, you're saying it's not if, it's actually when. Could you give us more of a...
Well, I say there is a sense of urgency, and everybody in state service now has a sense of urgency that we want to protect as many properties as possible. But we need to hear from the communities, from the local elected officials, where do they expect? SOTUS is the model here. SOTUS has a plan. SOTUS has been working with the county. They've been working with the state resources, and they're taking available of what we have to protect their residents. So yes, there is a sense of urgency, and there will be until the flooding is no longer an issue.
I didn't hear you. I was further back there. You said something about the time is now to prepare. Could you
Sure.
talk about the hours?
Well, the time is now. The water is at a level where the preparation, with the sandbagging operations, with the aqua dams, can be put in easily. And I'm urging everybody to recognize the potential for the flood. Just think back to 2017 and think about what happened, right? The water's low enough. We can get in with the equipment. We can get in with the sandbags. And it's not we're going to abandon anybody. But let's be prepared. I mean, there has to be a responsibility on the homeowners, on the business owners to say, yes, this is a potential problem that's coming, and we want to work with you. So please contact your local elected officials. We're in contact with them now. We can get this equipment to you when it's safe to install it.
And you said the next 36 hours, what exactly is going to...
We're expecting heavy rainfall, we're expecting wind, and the wind direction is going to change. So we expect that that's going to create some flooding in certain areas, but we're ready to deal with it. The state has thousands of pumps that have been mobilized, ready, checked. We've pre-positioned these pumps in key locations so we can pump out areas, and we expect that that's going to help with the potential flooding.
Have you guys heard any updates from the IJC?
I met with the IJC about 10, 12 days ago, and as the commissioner said, yes, they are continuing to release water. We had a very frank and direct discussion. We were seeking more communication with the IJC, not just with us, but with the counties and with the communities, so they have a full understanding of what the plan is. We've also asked that they monitor the situation not 16 hours a day as it was, but 24 hours a day, because the communities, such as SOTUS, the mayor's out here 24 hours a day, and we think that they need to monitor the situation and to release water at any opportunity. And even though it might bring slight relief, our position is any relief is good relief for the residents of the state of New York.
Mayor, would you like to add anything in terms of from the residents' perspective? What kind of phone calls calls you're getting? I mean, I know they said call your municipality, and then they do have a number to reach out for.
Yeah, we've had several calls into the village hall. All the critical areas that were identified in the plan have been sandbagged. We are getting some calls from some people that would like sandbags for areas that we hadn't identified, so we're getting those delivered today. I'm sure this wind will cause some of the people on the south side to have some concerns, so I won't be surprised if, you know, we're taking a few more sandbags to some properties. Some people don't like where the sandbags were placed, but we placed them under the guidance of the Corps of Engineer guidelines, so we're leaving those in place. And we had a lot of help from State Emergency Services, from the county, the State Department of Corrections. The guys that they sent to place sandbags have been fantastic. They've been polite, they are energetic, and they had contests to see who could lay the most sandbags the fastest. And that helped everything get done. In 5 days, all the sandbags, about 40,000 sandbags were placed around our village. That's unbelievable. So
The lake level right now, I think you mentioned it was at 247. It's like how many inches?
well,
2 years ago?
the levels that I look at aren't available yet today because I look at the whole lake level. Yesterday it was 247.83 or something like that. So we're fast approaching 248. 248 is when several more areas in our village will get wet. They're sandbagged, there's pumps in place. I guess it's supposed to peak somewhere around 248.4 or so. Whether that's in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks or in 4 weeks, that's what none of us know. The only good news is the IJC has been raising the outflow a couple hundred cubic meters per second virtually every day for a week. So if that continues, we're now getting rid of all the water coming in from Lake Erie. We're not getting rid of all the water that's coming in from all the other tributaries. So we've at least knocked the big one out, and now we got to knock all the little ones out. So we're making progress, but we look forward to the water starting to go down. That's what we're waiting for.
Business owners say they're really thankful for all your support that you give them. What's it mean to hear that?
Oh, obviously that's a great thing to hear, but this community thrives in the summer. I mean, we have a lot of ice fishermen in the winter, but the real money is spent in this community in the summer. So it's important that our roads are dry and that we have as much normalcy as we possibly can. So that was the basis of the plan that was developed. It seems to be working. I'm sure we'll make some adjustments when it's over. And honestly, if this is going to happen a lot, and I'm not a believer that this is caused by climate change. The Great Lakes precipitation has been normal in the entire Great Lakes Basin this year, but yet we're still flooding. So Plan 2014 has a lot to do with this. It's probably not the only thing, but it has a lot to do with it. So we either need to find a way to raise our entire village or build walls around our entire village or something, because sandbagging takes a lot of effort on the part of a lot of people. So we need to think about the future, figure out what the right long-term solution is, and then figure out how it's going to be funded, because it's obviously not up to the residents, or shouldn't be, to fund a man-made disaster.
You guys good? Yep. Great. Thanks so much.